My name is Rachel, and I've been married to Jason for almost 10 years. Our marriage looked great from the outside. New Jersey couple. Like many things in life, the outside didn't match the truth. They had a nice house, steady jobs, dinner parties every few weeks, and pictures on the mantle from tropical trips. When we first got married, Jason was different. He was warm, attentive, and always ready to surprise me, whether it was flowers for no reason or breakfast in bed on random Sundays. He made me feel like I was the only woman in the world. But as the years went by, work took over his life, and the spontaneous affection went away. We stopped laughing together, and eventually we stopped talking. It started slowly. Jason started staying late at work more often. At first, I believed him. He's an investment analyst, so long hours are normal. But something about the way he avoided eye contact and checked his phone in private made me feel uncomfortable. When I tried to confront him, he said, "Rachel, don't be so dramatic. I really did try to understand. I took on more at home to relieve his stress. I was busy with art projects, my part-time teaching job at the community centre, and grocery shopping. But no matter what I did, I couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right." One night, I did everything I could to reconnect with him. I cooked his favourite lasagna with garlic bread and Caesar salad. I wore the red dress he once said made me look like I stepped out of a movie. I lit candles, set the table with our good china, and poured 2 glasses of red wine. But he never showed up. He didn't text or call by 10:15 p.m. The food was cold, and I sat alone and stared at the unfinished meal. That's when everything changed. Heart racing because I thought it would be Jason, but it was Noah. Noah, Jason's younger brother, has always been the most adventurous one. He lived in a nearby city, worked as a freelance photographer, and would show up at random with stories about bands and road trips. He was 6 years younger than Jason and was friendly, so everyone liked him. As soon as he saw me standing in the doorway, he smiled and asked, "Wow, did I crash something?" He looked toward the Camel dining room. I smiled back, thinking of date night with Jason, but Jason never came home. Noah's face changed from amused to worried, and he said, "Yikes, that stinks." He hesitated, then added, "Want some company?" I was just in the neighborhood and figured I'd drop off that camera lens. Jason wanted me to step aside and say, "You might as well help me eat this food before it goes to waste." We sat across from each other, drank wine, laughed about old family stories, and avoided talking about the big problem that was sitting in the middle of the room. It felt surprisingly natural when Noah listened, joked, and helped me forget about my growing pain, if only for a little while. Over the next few weeks, Noah started stopping by more often, sometimes with takeout or groceries, and sometimes just with his camera, taking pictures of the garden or the cat relaxing in the sun. He said he liked the space our home gave him, but I thought he could also sense how lonely I had become. One afternoon, I found myself crying in the laundry room. Jason had forgotten our anniversary, not even a text, and I didn't even bring it up when he got home that night because I didn't feel like it. The next morning, Noah knocked on the door with a bouquet of daisies and asked, "I know they're not roses, but you always like the wild ones better, right?" he said with a stupid grin. I didn't ask him how he knew I had just hugged him. Noah saw me in a way Jason no longer did. He noticed when I changed my hair, when I wore new earrings. When I looked tired, he paid attention to the small things I had long given up, hoping Jason would notice again. One Saturday, I twisted my ankle trying to fix a curtain in the guest room. Noah was already around working on some photography project in the backyard, and he rushed in the moment he heard the crash. He helped me to the couch, iced my foot, and sat with me while I tried not to cry, not just from the pain, but from everything that had built up inside me. "Why are you even here?" I asked him, my voice thick. "You could be anywhere else." He looked at me serious now, "Because you deserve someone who actually shows up." Those words hit me harder than I expected from that day on. Something shifted between us. We were more careful. We didn't linger too long in rooms together. We avoided those accidental touches that made my heart race. But no matter how much I tried to push the feelings away, they kept growing. And the more Jason withdrew, the more Noah stepped in. Not in any inappropriate way, but with emotional presence and kindness. I was starving for it all came to a head. One rainy afternoon, Jason was out of town for work conference. Noah had dropped by to return a ladder he borrowed. I was painting in the studio room, surrounded by unfinished canvases and half-cleaned brushes. He walked in, paused, and said, "You really light up when you paint, you know that." I smiled and brushed a flyaway hair behind my ear. "This is the only time in a while that I feel like myself," I said. He took a closer look at the painting and told Rachel, "You're so talented, don't hide it." There was something about the way he said it that made me feel vulnerable for the first time in a long time. I turned to thank him, but my words got stuck in my throat when I saw how close he was standing. Our eyes met, and I knew that he felt it too. The tension, the pull, the silent question that neither of us wanted to answer. "I should go," he said, taking a step back. "Okay," I whispered, "but if you ever need anything, I'm here." When he left, I sat down with my heart racing. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. I just knew I couldn't keep living in limbo in a loveless marriage, holding on to the memory of what once was, and something new I didn't fully understand. A week later, I confronted Jason. We were sitting in the living room, and I asked him directly if there was someone else. He denied it, but I could tell by the way he avoided my gaze that the answer was yes. I told him we had to fix this or leave. Jason looked at me, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't have anything to say. That silence said it all. We decided to separate. It wasn't messy or dramatic, just sad a quiet end to something that had once been beautiful. I didn't run to Noah after that. In fact, I didn't see him for a while. I needed time to rediscover myself, what I liked, what I wanted, who I was without Jason. I poured myself into my art, into teaching, into rebuilding my life one sunny morning. Months later, I was hosting a small exhibit of my paintings at the local community centre. It was nothing big, just a few friends and local art lovers browsing my work. I was nervous but proud as I stood by one of my favourite pieces. A painting of daisies swaying in the wind. I felt a familiar presence beside me. "You remembered," I said without turning. "I never forgot," Noah replied. We stood in silence for a moment.